Okay, let's see what we have here. This is rose apple. There's the scientific name. I don't need to speak it, do I? I don't know how to pronounce it. Syzygium. Syzygium. Jambos. Let's have a look into the plant first. I love that one. Plants for a Future database. pfaf.org. So that's what it looks like over here. I have heard of it before, I have not looked into it. Oh, look at that one, watery rose apple. Let's just open that just to look into it. Just to look at the picture. Alright, let's have a look at that. Huh, it's in Zimbabwe. There you go, it looks like it's in South Africa. Okay, anyway. So it's in Australia because, thank you Bernice for donating, and this is a video for Bernice on rose apple, and that means it's in Australia because she says on her little nature nursery tours, she picks up the seeds of these, I think she just told me. You know, before we get into this more, I just wanted to say, you know, while I'm reminded of Australia, I think it's incredibly stupid that we plant ornamental plants everywhere. People have ornamental plants, and I don't know, maybe every single plant on earth has its uses and I just don't know them yet. But it seems more pertinent to plant food plants because we eat them and it's just easier to, you know, get through your day. You don't have to stop at the shop, you just have to walk past a tree and pick the fruit. And off to your next job or delivery or interview or whatever. And, you know, in North New South Wales, Murwillumbah, a region I was hanging around before I came to Uruguay. I grew up on Sunshine Coast and then I moved to Gold Coast, Australia, and then just below in North New South Wales is Murwillumbah, near Nimbin and Byron Bay. And what they do is have a banana festival every, I don't know if it's every year or every couple of years, but what they do is on every street corner, not in the entire town, but in the main streets, they put on every corner and every little tree place. You know how you're walking down streets all around the world and they'll have a little spot where they plant trees along the road? In every one of those little spots where they grow, you know, trees for shading out the street and so on, they'd put a banana tree there, and the banana tree wouldn't be put into the ground, it'd be just in a like plastic or a bag, a mesh bag, and so obviously they got soil in there so it can be alive. These are real living banana trees, and they put them on every corner just for this banana festival, and that's just decoration obviously. But my point is, they go to all that work to put banana trees on every single like street corner and every little plant space along the street. And I saw this with my own eyes. And then a few days later, these banana trees are gone. And I thought to myself, what a waste of energy. You've put the banana trees there. all that had to be done was to dig them into the ground. It's not that difficult. And it's just funny, you know, it's like a massive waste of energy, and I just don't get it. Why can't there be food plants on the street instead of ornamental plants? I don't understand. For instance, you might have a problem with nut trees. Here in Uruguay, about a year ago, I was in the city looking for walnuts, and we were just walking in the neighborhoods asking people, and they were pointing their way, and they were saying, yeah, over there, over there. And we couldn't find them. They'd just been dug out and removed, these giant walnut trees. And I would have got, you know, plenty of walnuts to eat. I would have got all my essential fats, my brain oils, etc., minerals, vitamins. And, you know, because I didn't have a job, I'd just recently moved to Uruguay, and it would have really helped me out, because that's what we were doing, looking for food plants, food foraging all around the place. I was eating a lot of forage plants, and still do. But, you know, maybe have a problem with walnuts dropping on cars, and that's why they removed them apparently, because, you know, a walnut drops from the tree and it smashes on the car. And I can see a few problems like that, but honestly, branches can fall from normal ornamental trees as well onto the car. So, I mean, I'm sure there's something we can do where it's going to be a happy compromise, you know. And it doesn't have to be in the dense parking lots then, you know what I mean? And there's plenty of parking lots, I remember, in Australia that have mangoes, for instance, growing in them. People seem to get by just fine. So anyway, I thought that was just a good example of how much we waste our energy in this society, and anyway, let's get on with this video. Because I really think we should have food plants on every corner. So let's look into it. So there's some synonyms here. Family Myrtaceae. Cool. Alright. There's some other names. Cloud apple, wax apple, Malay, Jamborosade, Pera de Agua, water apple, plum rose. Oh, they look delicious there. I don't think I've eaten these, but it's possible I have. So we know they're in the Philippines as well, in Zimbabwe we saw, and in Australia. So they look to be quite all over the place, quite common. It's shaped like some kinds of guava. In the Philippines they call it Yambo, Dambo, or Tampoy. Always confused with Macopa, a closely related fruit. So it's not this one. So it's actually not this one that we're seeing now. Syzygium samarangiens. But Syzygium is what? The genus. Yeah. Syzygium is the genus. So it's not the same species as that one. Sorry, I'm cold. My voice is a bit shaky. Okay, so that's another different one, but very similar. Skin is waxy. Unarmored seeds, about 1 centimeter in diameter. Okay, I don't really care about that information too much. Like a cross between nashi and bell pepper. Oh, that's interesting. I've had nashi before, I think. Which is Asian pear, Chinese pear, Korean pear, Japanese pear, Taiwanese pear. I think I had one of those before. Okay, so it's got a mild rose scent and a slightly bitter aftertaste. Here we go, distribution. Hawaiian Islands, Galapagos, parts of Australia, and the warmer regions of the Americas. In Hawaii it's almost been wiped out by introduced this plant, apparently. Yeah, right. Puccinia psidi. Uses: rich in vitamin C. In Southeast Asian countries, rose apple fruit is frequently served with spiced sugar. I don't recommend adding sugar. And there's some links there. Okay, let's get out of Wikipedia here. Jambos is an evergreen, okay, with a regular shaped dense crown, blah blah blah. It provides food, medicine, and a range of commodities for local population, and that's what I'm talking about. Creamy coloured goodness. Yes, we can see the colour. The seeds are said to be poisonous, so you don't want to be eating the seeds. This is from tropicaldeferns.info. Known hazards. Okay, so the seeds are poisonous. An unknown amount of hydrocyanic acid has been reported in the roots, stems, and leaves, so you don't want to be eating them. An alkaloid jambosine has been found in the bark of the tree, and the roots are considered poisonous. So you only want to eat the fruit of this one. It's not a totally edible tree. Okay. It's self-fertile. Interesting. Cool. So the pollinators are insects, bees, and self-fertile, yes. Edibility rating 3 bananas out of I don't know what. Medicinal rating only 2 minor uses, they say here, and some drawbacks they say for medicine, using this as a type of medicine. Okay, tropical Guatemala, it's there as well. So Central America as well. Interesting. A plant can produce dense stands of sprouts up to 3.6 meters tall, just 12 months after being cut back to ground level. Nice. Edible uses, okay. The fruits, usually eaten raw, can also be stewed into jams, jellies. Okay. Rosewater fragrance. What do we got? Custards and puddings. Some ideas there. The fruit can be distilled to yield a rose water that is said to be equal to the best obtained from rose petals. Oh, that's very interesting to me because I make rose perfume, and all I do is get pure water and soak rose petals in there, and you get free rose perfume, so you don't need to buy perfume. And rose is the highest vibrational flower or plant or perfume or oil, basically. So people say to me, oh, what about rosemary, Ben, and lavender? No, they're not. You got to sense this. Rose has a higher vibration, and rose is the highest vibrational oil on the planet. I don't think there is anything higher than the rose vibration in the oil. So that's very interesting if you can yield a rose water from this fruit as well. Several parts of the tree are used medicinally as a tonic or diuretic. So you can look at that reference there. In India, the fruit is regarded as a tonic for the brain and liver. But remember, just before, because it says several parts of the tree are used, before we saw there might be poisonous nature to it, so you've got to be very careful when you're producing this stuff. In India, the fruit is regarded as a tonic for the brain and liver. An infusion of the fruit acts as a diuretic. A sweetened preparation of the flowers is believed to reduce fever. The seeds are employed against diarrhea. Remember, the seeds are said to be poisonous though. So the seeds are employed against diarrhea, dysentery, and catarrh. Oh, catarrh is that weird feeling in your nose, like a dryness, staleness in your nose. I remember reading about catarrh years ago. Let's not get into it. In Nicaragua, it has been claimed that an infusion of roasted powdered seeds is beneficial to diabetics. Yeah, that would be a good way to treat it, by roasting it. They say in Colombia that seeds have an anesthetic property. So look, many uses from Africa to South America. So it's in Colombia as well. Seems this plant's quite common around the world. The leaf decoction is applied to sore eyes. Also serves as a diuretic and expectorant, and treatment for rheumatism arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis. The rheumatism, if you don't know what that is. Alright, they're all from the same, these 303, that's the same reference there. You can see it's the same reference, worldagroforestry.org, and then there's a few other references there too. Okay, the juice of macerated leaves is taken as a febrifuge. I've forgotten what that is. Is that anti-worms? Let's have a look. No, anti-fever, right? I think that means anti-fever. Okay, so the juice of the leaves, you can macerate it and use it to treat fever. Powdered leaves have been rubbed on the bodies of smallpox patients for cooling effect. So it just goes to show you, we're saying it's poisonous up the top of the article, but here there's all these great uses. So, okay, the bark contains 7 to 12% tannin. It is astringent, emetic, and cathartic. The decoction is administered to relieve asthma, bronchitis, and hoarseness of the throat. Cuban people believe that the root is an effective remedy for epilepsy. Interesting. You can make a hedge from it. Plants develop massive root systems, so you can stabilize soil. Okay, anyway. Oh, here we go. Other uses. A yellow-coloured essential oil important in the perfume industry is derived from the leaves. Okay, so it doesn't say which one that. Oh, L-limonene, is it? Oh, okay. So they're probably talking about the pinene and the limonene, which, if you look on the back of any or most perfumes, you'll see that in there. Yeah, okay. The bark contains 7% tannin. We read that up there. So they tan and dye things with it in local villages. So you can use the flexible branches which split easily. They're valued for making wattle hoops. So you could use it like white willow bendy branches and stuff. You could make a crossbow, you can make a bow and arrow, you can make a raft, and make baskets. Okay, anyway. Oh, here we go, seeds, because you said, Bernice, that you're collecting the seeds, so let's see propagation. The seeds have a very short viability and no dormancy. Okay, they usually germinate well within 10 to 120 days. So I think that means don't leave them lying around for a year. Only up to 120 days, a few months. If sown fresh, surface sow the seed in a shady position, firming it gently into the soil and water well, but be careful not to wash the seed away. A single seed often gives rise to 3 to 8 seedlings. So from one seed you get up to 8 seedlings. That's pretty good. And most of them are true to type. Young plants transplant badly, so should be potted up into individual containers as soon as they're large enough to handle, and before the roots have grown too much. Okay? And young plants need some shade. Okay, so I'll just let you pause the screen. Let's go to the next article. Here we go. Plants for a Future. Definitely. pfaf.org. Rose, apple, plum, rose. Okay, same things about toxicity have been found in the roots and the bark, but we know we can use those as medicines as well if we learn how to make them properly. Okay, let's see, edible uses. This looks like the exact same material almost as the previous article. The large hollow seed cavity is sometimes utilized to stuff fruits and bake them. The fruit has been handled very carefully after harvesting because it bruises easily. Okay. Yeah, we read about that stuff. Here we go, medicinal uses. Let's see what they say here. The exact same stuff again about a tonic and brain liver use in India. about it being a febrifuge and reducing fever, beneficial to diabetics, Colombian. Yeah, this is the same stuff with the same references. It looks like a copy paste from here into the other article or the other way around. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, I've mentioned the coloured. Yeah, look, this is all exactly the same. Okay. So this was that other one, the watery rose apple. Java apple. Let's look at these. Oh, well. Is that a different one then, is it? Java apple. Yeah, that was that other one that they said was similar to it. If we go back to there, that's a different species as well, Aquium. Okay. There's the Jabuticaba. I've done a video on this. Isn't that tree amazing? It has the fruits. They're like big blueberries that grow on the stem. Awesome tree, because I don't know any other trees that have fruit growing on the actual stem of the tree. Okay, let's keep going. There we go. Eugenia Jambos, so back on the Jambos species. I don't know what species you're picking up in Australia there, Bernice. Just have a look into it. Try and identify it all, because you know, we did read that there's some possible toxicities. So you just want to make sure you have what you have. Make sure you know what you have. Alright. Don't really need to know any of this. You can pause the screen if you're interested in the ethnobotany. I'm into the uses of plants. How can I use it? How can I eat it? Okay, not much new information there. It's got a big taproot. Okay. Flowering period is once yearly. Polycarpic. Okay. Alright, well, yeah, that other article is really good. If we go back, let's see, which one was it? This one. Tropical ferns or the PFAF, they were both the same. Let's just do one more quick search here. That's what I wanted, medicinal uses. Let's see what the indigenous people have, if they've got anything else to say. Diarrhea, dysentery, diabetes and catarrh, asthma, bronchitis, we covered that. Indochina, methanolic extract. Let's have a look at these two articles. Alrighty. Oh. So you can use it on acne. The antibacterial, anti-inflammatory activity against the pathogen P. acnes. There you go. That looks like it's been studied. The method, broth. The broth dilution method was used to assess the antibacterial activity, so you make a broth. The cytotoxicity investigation on mouse melanocyte and human leukemic monocyte lymphoma cells was done using blah 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 blah. I'm not going to say that. The non-toxic concentrations of the samples was investigated for the suppression of cytokines and interleukin 8 and tumor necrosis factor TNF by testing blah blah blah. So it kills P. acne, so it kills acne bacteria. Interesting. And they've had a look at the cytotoxicity and if it fights cancerous sort of stuff. Bioassay guided isolation of ethanol extract, so basically like a tincture, led to the isolation of 3 known compounds, namely squalene and anacardic acid analog and ursolic acid, which are reported for the first time from this plant. Okay. Okay, other compounds: maricicine, maricitrin, gallic acid, exhibited significant antioxidant activity. Okay. Right. So against acne there. Interesting. Actually, this page keeps going. I don't want to care about the background too much. Well, so this looks like a good one for you guys to read if you want to read more into it. Because look, it's it actually scrolls for a while. My scroll bar's off the recorder, sorry. Here we go, let's have a look here. Oh, that's what they did. Okay. Anyway, against acne by the looks of it. Extraction and purification. Yeah, so if you want to learn how to extract it and really get into this plant and you want to make medicine from it or something, have a look at this article. Yeah, this looks huge. Watch, I'll keep scrolling. So, massive. Beyond the scope of this video, I don't want to sit here for 2 hours reading through all of this. So it goes really into detail. Look. Antioxidant properties, effects of the ethanol extract. Okay, there you go. So that's that keeps scrolling too, by the way. Look, I can keep going. I don't want to read all of that, that's a lot. Let's look into this one. Tested for antimicrobial activity. Okay, so it inhibited the growth of 4 of the 14 bacteria tested. 29%. Both gram-positive and gram-negative bacterial growths were inhibited. That's good. By Jambos leaf extract. Look, if you don't know what that means, look into gram-negative and gram-positive. Although gram-positive bacteria appeared more susceptible, 2 of the 10 gram-negative bacteria and 2 of the 4 gram-positive bacteria tested had their growths inhibited by the extract. So we need to test this more by the looks of it. Imagine 100 years from now, we'll know, if we keep doing videos like I'm doing, and then scientists are doing all these assays like this, we're going to be able to know, walking down the street what we need that day. So, do you think we should grow food plants and medicinal plants down the road, so then you don't have to visit the fake apothecary or chemist? I do. Because then you'll be able to go, oh, I know, rose apple, it treats this, this, and this. I'll just go pick from the rose apple tree. Oh, I need a banana. Let's go get the banana off the banana tree. And then we make a lot less visits to the chemist. Respiratory, okay, here we go, nice little list. Treatment of numerous disorders including eczema, malaria, respiratory disorders and infectious disease. Antimicrobial, as we've seen. Antiseptic properties. Used as a tonic for the, we've seen that. Brain and liver tonic. Diuretic. Febrifuge. Epilepsy in Cuba, antiviral. Oh, towards herpes simplex type 1 and 2. So it's been shown to possess antiviral activity as well, towards herpes simplex type 1 and type 2, and towards vesicular somatitis virus. I don't know what that is. Okay. Extensive studies of antiseptic properties of some of the genus have been done. If you're interested, go look into it. Antifungal properties, antibacterial, Lots of good links here. Oh, this is 2 Australian species have also recently been shown to possess antibacterial activity. There you go, Bernice. consciousazine.com Chronicle.